what's it been like since the win? I mean, I know things have probably been hectic and stuff. You guys are doing a little bit of a world tour and stuff. What's this last few weeks been like for you?
Well, it's Lando. It's actually been great. It's been I told the people the other day, they asked me, have you had a chance to enjoy it? And I said, how could I enjoy it? Heck, I've been drunk every day for 2 weeks. How could I enjoy it? but that's not true. But it's been a whirlwind, as you said. We're still floating around here, not like what we were. I mean, we're all coming down now, and but for about 2 weeks though, Landon, it was good. And I think one reason why it was so good is because, I know the players expected it. I'll be honest with you. No, I don't think anybody outside our team really expected it. I think they thought, well, we got a chance to do pretty good. But as you know, watching us play, this wasn't close to the teams that you played on from a talent standpoint. But from a chemistry standpoint and sharing the ball and being tough at game point and stuff, it was a damn good basketball team. I mean, they maximized their abilities about as well as any team that we've had.
Coach, when the bracket came out, did you kind of get some sense that, hey, at least this path is within reason? You know what I mean? Or do you just look at every time the bracket comes out, you're like, hey, we'll just who's number one on the list and go from there?
That basically I look at it as weekends. So yeah. The only thing I really looked at, Richard, was the first weekend. Okay, yeah. Texas Southern and then either Creighton or San Diego State. And we actually thought it would be San Diego State just because they defend so well. But Creighton played great. We caught a break in the Creighton game because their big kid hurt his ankle the last play of the game, basically, against San Diego State. So we were able to play 3 games with teams with kids coming off of injuries in the game before we played them. And that's when I didn't think it started lining up for us till the second weekend. We drew Providence, which was the 4 seed. That's the way it should be. But we thought the winner of the Providence game would have a great chance to get to the Final Four, not because anything negative, just because you got 7 and 10 on the other side. And the fact that, Iowa State was a 7 seed and we knew them well, and we actually thought Iowa State would beat Miami. But Miami was too good, and Landon knows this. Miami was too good with players making individual plays. I mean, they had guys that could go get their own shot, and were really good at that. But as Landon knows, if we can kind of figure out what somebody's really good at and take those few things away, we can be pretty darn good defensively. And that second half against Miami, we finally kind of figured out, okay, you do this, this, and that, and it cut their water off. And so that was a good matchup for us, even though they were talented, good matchup. And then you go into the Final Four, and I didn't care if we played Houston or Villanova or Arizona or whoever, but we played the best team for us because, I hate to say this, because Justin Moore got injured. So even though Villanova could have easily beat us if they had their full complement of guys, the fact that they didn't, I mean, we were confident going into that game, and then we regardless of what happened in the who won the other game, our team was as focused as any group I'd ever been around. I felt good going into the championship game, but as a coach, and Brandon, I mean, Landon knows this. I think I can be somewhat positive, but I'm kind of like a pessimistic positive person in that I could find, oh God, no matter, the sky could be falling regardless. In the tournament, I never felt that way. I felt like we were going to win every game, and that was a pretty good feeling. And I think the players kind of fed off that too.
So we had some of the players on this year onto the show, and one of the things that we heard was that in the TCU game, there was a little bit of that, locker room moment, team coming together moment that I know a lot of the teams I played on went through at some point in time. Did you notice anything different, after that last TCU game that stood out to you, or, you know, was it kind of a slow build from there?
You know what? As you know, Landon, and you heard me say this, teams don't become teams in October. You know, teams will become teams when you go through some crap. And you know, the Kentucky game was crap for us. Obviously, that helped make our season. And then after we got beat, but our mindset and such was, even if we played better, I think we would have still got beat. I mean, we weren't right when we went down to Fort Worth. And America kind of saw then that they're good. I mean, they should have beat Arizona in the tournament too. They were good, and I don't think that we thought they were that good yet. And they punched us in the mouth, and we had to turn around and play them 2 days later because of COVID reschedule, and then we had Texas 2 days after that. So it was a heck of a week, and we were able to somehow beat TCU at home the next day, and I think that almost righted the ship. And then I don't know how it was on senior nights when you were here, but the senior night against Texas, that was probably the most pressure I think I felt the team play. We had to win the game to win the league. All the seniors, we had 7 seniors or 6 seniors, and it was absolutely the biggest tooth pull game ever. I mean, it was ugly. And we finally hung in there and won it. And I think that was the key moment, because when we won it, it felt like that they accomplished something and the pressure came off. And we really played well after that. We were really good in the Big 12 tournament.
So, Coach, so we got the championship in 08, championship in 22. Is there and I know that was a little bit ago, but how was your feeling between the two? Does it feel the same, or is this one feel sweeter, or 08 feels sweeter? Like,
well, I think I didn't know that you could feel as sweet as we did in 08. I thought it was unbelievable. It was, you know, my teams, I don't know if you followed it closely, but we were the team that could never get over the hump. I mean, it was our 5th chance to go to the Final Four out of the Elite Eight game. We finally won one. The pressure was off. The competition in the Final Four was better because it was all 4 number 1 seeds. I mean, it was elite. But we played so good. I mean, we played so good that it felt great. It was surreal, but we didn't really have to go through much crap to get there. I mean, it was like we were injury-free all year long. We were never ranked lower than 3rd or 4th in the country. It was kind of like an expectation that we were going to be one of those teams. This year's team was different. I mean, that team in 08 would have never lost anybody by 20 at home. Even if the Celtics came, I mean, we wouldn't have lost by 20 at home. And Kentucky comes in and punks us, beats us like they did this year. My father passed in January, and we kind of had to work around that. You know, we've got some other off the court things that we're dealing with, and to run the table this year, I don't know that it felt better, but I think there was more elation. There was more pure joy this year because I know that this group had been through a little bit more.